Alrighty, everybody. Welcome into Message Time Domain. I'm Message Timed. So hold on. Let me get my camera situated here. I'm running a little bit behind. Let's go here. Alright, so where the heck is, man, I had everything set up and now it's like, oh, I know. Alrighty. Excuse me. Alright, now I can get down to business. So we're rating 34, 33, 34, 35 today. And depending on how everything goes, I might actually end up reading 36, which is the complete end, which is the end of the uh book's end. So I'm debating if I want to do that. But let's just get started. Stages in stages in Israel's journey, chapter 33. Here are the stages in the journey of the Israelites when they came out of Egypt by division under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. At the Lord's command, Moses recorded the stages in the journey. This is the journey by the stages. The Israelites set out from Ramesses on the 15th day of the first month, the day after the Passover. They marched out definitely into full view of the Egyptians, who were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them, for the Lord had brought judgment on their gods. The Israelites left Ramses and camped at Succoth. They left Succoth and camped at Edemoth, Etham, on the edge of the desert. They left Etham, turned back to Pi Hahiroth, to the east of Baal Zephon, and camped near Migdal. After they left Pi Hahiroth and passed through the sea into the desert, and when they had traveled for 3 days in the desert of Etham, they camped at Morah. They left Morah and went to Elam, where they were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. They left Elam and camped by the Red Sea. They left the Red Sea and camped in the desert of Sin. Hold on a second, I want to see something here. They left the desert of Sin and encamped in Dokoth, Dovkoth. They left Dokoth and camped at Alash. They left Alash and camped at Rephidim, where they were where they were was no water for the people to drink. They left Ref, uh, Rephidim and camped in the desert of Sinai. They left the desert of Sinai and camped in Kibroth Hattaavah. They left Kibroth Hattaavah and camped at Hazeroth. They left Hazeroth and camped at Rithma. They left Camp Rithma and camped at Rimmon Perez. They left Rimmon Perez and camped at Laban. They left Lebna, and camped at Ressa. They left Ressa and camped at Kilatha. They left Kilatha and camped at Mount Shepherd. They left Mount Shepherd and camped at Horodah. They left Horodah and camped at Michalos. They left Michalos and camped at Tahas. They left Tahas and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Mithka. They left Mithka and camped at Hashmona. They left Hashmon and camped at Mosros. They left Mosros and camped at Benejacan. They left Benejacan and camped at Hor Haggid. They left Hor Haggid and camped at Jabahath. They left Jabahath and camped at Hebron. They left Hebron and camped at Ezon Gaber. They left Ezon Gaber and camped at Kadesh in the desert of Zin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor and on the border of Edom. At the Lord's command, Aaron the priest went up to Mount Hor, where he died on the first day. Of the 5th month of the 14th year, the Israelites came out of Egypt. Aaron had 123 years old. Aaron was 123 years old when he had died on Mount Hor. So Aaron just died when they were doing all this. So the Canaanites, king of Adred, who lived in Negev of Canaan, heard that the Israelites were coming. They left Mount Hor and camped at Zalmonah. They left Zalmonah and camped at Punau. They left Punan and camped at Obath. They left Ubas and camped at Lai. Abram on the border of Moab. They left Lai Abram and camped at Gad. They left Dibon Gad and camped at Alamon. Lat Hemi. They left Alamon, Delab Hemi, and camped at the mountains of Abram near Nebo. They left the mountains of Abram and camped on the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from the Jericho. There, in the plains of Moab, they camped along the Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth to Abel Shittim, on the plains of Moab by Jordan, across the Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when they cross the Jordan into Canaan, drive out all the inhabitants of the land before you destroy all their carved images and their cast idols, and demolish all their high places. Take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given you the land to possess. Distribute the land by lot, according to your clan, to a larger group. Give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group a smaller one. Whatever falls to them by lot will be their distribute in according to your ancestral tribes. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land, those you allow to remain will become bards in your eyes and thorns in your side. They will give you trouble in the land where you live, and then I will do to you what I plan to do to them." Alright, so we're on to chapter 34 now. So, let me take a sip of my energy drink. So they were just traveling, and then Aaron died on this mountain. So that's why I went back and reread it for a second, because I wasn't sure. Because sometimes I'll read it and it doesn't exactly make clear sense to me, so I have to go back, and then it automatically clicks for me. But yeah, Aaron died in that travel that they were doing for them to get here where they were, and as you can see now, stuff's starting to break out there. So, boundaries of Canaan, chapter 34. The Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites and say to them, when you enter Canaan, the land will be allotted to you as an inheritance. Inheritance is to have these boundaries. Your southern side will include some of the desert of Zin along the border of Edom. Your southern boundary will start in the east from the southern end of the Dead Sea. Cross south of Scorpion Pass, continue to Zin, and go south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it will go to Hazar Adar and over to Asmon, where it will turn, join Wadi of Egypt, and end at the Mediterranean Sea. Your western boundary will be the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. This will be your boundary on the west. For the northern boundary, run a line from the Mediterranean Sea to Mount Hor, and Mount Hor to Lebo Hamath. Then the boundary will go to Zedad, continue down Zephron, and end at Hazor. And then this will be your boundary on the north. For the eastern boundary, run a line from Hazar Enan to Shephem. The boundary will go down from Shephem to Riblah on the east side of An and continue along the east slope of the Sea of Gilead. Then the boundary will go down along the Jordan and end at the Dead Sea. This will be your land with its boundaries on every side. Moses commanded the Israelites, assign this land by lot as an inheritance. The Lord has ordered that it be given to the 9.5 tribes, because the family of the tribes of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and The half-tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. These 2.5 tribes have received their inheritance east of the Jordan across from the Jericho towards the sunrise. The Lord said to Moses, "These are the names of the men who are assigned the land for you as an inheritance: Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun. And appoint one leader from each tribe to help assign the land. These are their names: Caleb, son of Jephunneh, from the tribe of Judah; Samuel, son of Ammihud, from the tribe of Simeon; Eladad, son of Keslon, from the tribe of Benjamin; Bukai, son of Jogli, the leader from the tribe of Dan; Hanani, son of Ephod, the leader from the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph; Kemuel, son of Shiphathan, the leader from the tribe of Ephraim, son of Joseph; Eliphan, the son of Parnak, the leader from the tribe of Zebulun; Pelatai, son of Azan, the leader from the tribe of Issachar; Ahud, son of Shalem, the leader from the tribe of Asher; Pedali, son of Ammihud, the son of the tribe of Naphtali. The man of the Lord. These are the men the Lord commanded to assign the inheritance to the land in the land of Canaan. So chapter 35. Now, this is where I'm debating if I want to keep going and finish out this book today, because, well, I think at the end of this I'll figure out if I want to finish out this book, because right now we're making pretty good time. So, alright. So, these guys are all, like, when they take over land, these guys are going to be the more important parts of the reason they take over the land, and, these are going to be leaders, so. Alright. Town of Levite. On the plains chapter 35. On the plains of Moab, by Jordan, across to Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites to give the Levites towns to live in from the inheritance. The Israelites will possess and give them pasture land around the towns. Then they will have towns to live in and pasture land for the cattle they own and all their other animals. The pasture land around the towns that give you the Levites will extend 1,000 cubits from the town wall outside the town. Measure 2,000 cubits on the east side, 2,000 on the south side, 2,000 on the west, and 2,000 on the north. With the town in the center, they will have this area as pasture land for the towns." Cities of refuge. 6 of the towns you give to the Levites will be cities of refuge, to which a person who has killed someone may flee. In addition, give them 42 other towns. In all, you must give the Levites 48 towns together with their pasture lands. The towns you give the Levites from the land the Israelites possess are to be given in proportion to the inheritance of each tribe. take many towns from the tribe that has many, but few from one that has few. Then the Lord said to Moses, Speak to the Israelites and say to them, When you cross the Jordan into Canaan, select some towns to be your cities of refuge, to which a person who has killed someone accidentally may flee. You will be placed of refuge from the avenger, so someone accused of murder may not die before they stand trial before the assembly. These 6 towns you give will be the cities of refuge. Give three on this side of the Jordan, and 3 in the Canaan, as cities of refuge. These 6 towns will be a place for refuge for the Israelites and the foreigners residing among them, so that anyone who has killed another accidentally can flee there. If anyone strikes someone with a fatal blow with an iron object, the person is a murderer. The murderer is to be put to death. Or if someone is holding a stone and strikes someone a fatal blow with it, the person is a murderer. The murderer is to be put to death. Or if someone is holding a wooden object and strikes someone a fatal blow with it, the person is a murderer, and the murderer is to be put to death. The avenger of blood shall be put to murder. Hang on. The avenger of blood shall put the murderer to death. When the avenger comes upon the murderer, the avenger shall put the murderer to death. If anyone with a mallet if anyone with malice forethought shoves another or throws something at them intentionally so that they die, or if out of enmity one person hits another with the fist so that the other dies, the person is to be put to death. So like back in the day, if this happened, you were supposed to be put to death, even if you were mad at somebody. So like anybody that would, like today example, I want to stop and talk about this. Like today example, we see a lot of people, trying to take people's lives by like fighting them and stuff like that. And as you can see right here, the Lord wouldn't have liked that. The Lord would have never been happy with that. And like especially with malice behind them, they would have the Lord wouldn't have liked that. And it was said to be put to death if you acted like that. And I know a couple people right now that should be put to death if it was real, if this was still going on. Especially the guy that beat me up. He should have been. One of the things here that states is, "You shall be put to death." That's something like if that existed now, he would have been definitely put to death because, you know. But hey, when they meet. But if without anonymity, someone suddenly pushes another or throws something at them, unintentionally, or them drop on, without seeing them, drops on them a stone enough heavy to kill them, and they die, then since the other person was not an enemy and no harm was intended, the assembly must judge between the accused and the avenger of the blood according to these regulations. The assembly must protect the one accused of murder from the avenger of blood, and send the accused back to the city of refuge to which they fled. The accused must stay there until the death of the high priest who was anointed with holy oil. But if the accuser ever goes outside limits of city of refuge to which they fled, and the avenger of blood finds them outside the city, the avenger of blood may kill the accused without being guilty of the murder. The accused must stay in the city of the refuge until death of the high priest. Only after death of the high priest may they return to their own property. Man, we're almost done. Actually, what time is it? So yeah, I got enough time to read. I got enough time to finish this book out. All right, this is to have the force of the law for you throughout the generations to come, wherever you live. Anyone who kills a person is to be put to death as a murderer. Only on the testimony of witnesses. But no one is to be put to death on the testimony only one witness. Alright, let me go back and reread it. But no one is to be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Alright, so if there's like one witness, there's a good chance I could be just making stuff up. And if a lot of people didn't see it, then a lot of people, can intentionally say, well, hey, they did it. One person can intentionally say, that's why you need more than one witness for this, And the problem comes down to, like, will the witnesses take, what side will the witnesses take? Okay, do not accept the ransom for the life of a murderer who deserves to die. They are to be put to death. Do not accept ransom for anyone who has fled to the city of refuge and allows them to go back and live on their own land before the death of the high priest. Do not pollute the land where you are bloodshed pollutes the land, and atonement cannot be made for the land on which blood has been shed except by the blood of one who sheds it. Do not defile the land where you live and where you dwell, for I, the Lord, dwell among the Israelites. So, all right, chapter 36. I'm gonna go on and read it. As you can see, the Lord doesn't care for people killing each other. Now the war is like a bigger problem. The war causes people to, the war's causing a lot of problems, and we can see that. So. All right. So I'm updating some things real quick. So hold on. Copy. Paste. All right. So now I'm gonna update it. Everything should be ready to go then. Yep, everything should be ready to update. Let's see. Okay. I want to make sure it's updated on that end too before I continue on with it. Yep. Okay. So it's updated here. All right. Come on. Load already. There you go. I don't know why YouTube sometimes takes a long time to load in. All right. All right, so now we're on chapter 36. This is the end of the book, actually. I'm really, really surprised we actually finished it already. I thought, like, I'm actually doing really well compared to what I would normally do when it comes down to reading stuff like this. Like, normally by now, I don't even make it this far. So, all right. Entrance to Zepoli. Zepol, he had daughters. Zepol, he had daughters. The family head of the clan of Gilead, son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, who were from the clan of the descendants of Joseph, came and spoke before Moses, and the heads of the Israelites' family, they said, when the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land as an inheritance to the Israelites by lot, he ordered you to give the inheritance of your brother Zephaliah to his daughters. Now suppose they marry men from other Israelite tribes. Then their inheritance will be taken from the ancestral inheritance. And added that of the tribe of Mary, of the tribe they marry into, and so part of the inheritance allotted to us will be taken away. When the year of Jubilee from the Israelites come, their inheritance will be added to that of the tribe into which they marry, and their property will be taken from the tribal inheritance of the ancestors. That at the Lord's command gives Moses this order to the Israelites, with the tribes of the descendants of Joseph, is saying is right. That is what the Lord commands of Zepoli had daughters. They marry anyone they please as long as they marry within their father's tribal clan. No inheritance in no inheritance in Israel is to pass from one tribe to another. For every Israelite shall keep their tribe inheritance of their ancestors. Every daughter in the inheritance land in any Israelite tribe must marry someone in her father's tribal clan, so that every Israelite will possess the inheritance of their ancestors. No inheritance may pass from one tribe to another. For each Israelite tribe is to keep the land in inheritance. So Zepoli had daughters did as the Lord commanded Moses. Zepoli had daughters Mahlah and Tirzah, Holag, Milcah, and Noah married their cousins on their father's side. They married within the clans of the descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in their father's tribe and clan. These are the command and regulations the Lord gave Moses to the Israelites on the plains of Moab by Jordan across from the Jericho. So, all right, there we go. We finished. We're in Deuteronomy right now. Actually, that's the end of that book. So yeah, we're moving along pretty good. If I it depends on how many chapters I read per day, and I don't even know how long Deuteronomy is. Deuteronomy, I don't think might be a little bit longer than this. Deuteronomy is not that long. Yeah, Deuteronomy is not very long either. All right, so Deuteronomy is how many chapters? 34. About the same as this one, depending on how long the chapters are, though. But yeah, I'm on Deuteronomy right now. That's pretty cool. All right. So yeah. That was a wild bunch of stuff. We saw Moses help build cities. Moses was a very, very good person. Okay. Moses did a lot of stuff through the Lord, and he continued to do a lot of stuff through the Lord until the day he finished, the day he was done. All right, and that right there shows the compassion. It shows the passion he had, the heart of fire he had to the Lord, and believing in what the Lord said. You know, and if that's what it takes to make somebody look great, just think about it today. In today's society, we don't have that. So just think about there was a guy like let's just say I follow the Lord so much that like I'm like such a great person because I end up being this like awesome person because I follow the Lord in so many ways in every way possible. You know, people are going to start noticing that, and you're going to go out in the world, you're going to go out of the world like a great human being regardless of what everybody thinks about you, because you know at the end of your time, you know, if you're capable of doing such amazing, incredible things through the graces of the Lord, then that automatically should stand out among people. And like, to me, Moses' story is pretty wild. He goes from fighting Pharaoh to like building whole entire cities, and he even built like what's known as the court system, which is really really awesome. When it comes down to it, he built the original court system, the original laws and stuff like that, along with the help of God. God was the one who created the original laws, and then Moses followed even more of the Lord's commands, and then continued to write the laws, continue to write the rules of those laws on top of it. So, and as you can see, the laws were still going on. In the end, they started actually. It makes me wonder. So the cities where the people were the cities of refuge, were those empty? You know, if people were running to those, were those cities empty, or were they like full of people? And then also like on top of it, like if you know somebody's running around and they ended up like murdering somebody, I don't know how I would feel about that. Unfortunately, I would probably try to avoid them at all costs, because that's a person I don't. A lot of people would be like, a lot of people would say different than me, but like I look at it this way. You don't know what people are capable of. Like you for all people accept a lot of people like that, but there's always a feeling of darkness within those people that is much more different than what darkness would be in somebody else. Like I can really really pick up on that stuff, and that's something that like for me, I try to let people know when something's going on, when something's weird about a certain type of individual and stuff like that, you know. And it's one of those things that like I can normally just you can normally just pick up. Now, as for me, um, you know, I'm a very introverted person, and what I mean by that is I can talk here to you guys and I can communicate with you guys, but I stay at home quite a bit. If you guys haven't noticed, I go out, but I go out all very little. And it's because I'd rather spend time here doing this and get this done. Because, as far as I am right now, and as far as like I am here later on by myself, because I've listened to it, it just gives me determination, and watching the channel grow as a whole too is another thing that just gives me determination to continue on down this path. You know, it's incredible what like it's incredible what it's incredible to see things go good for me without having any cause and effect of it, you know. And it's just interesting because a lot of people will look at that and be and just somebody's out there looking at everything here, and he's like, oh man, yeah, that's unfair, how did you get that far so fast and stuff like that. And in reality, the truth is that's the way people are. People get jealous of that kind of stuff all the time, and I choose not to worry about them anymore, because at the end of the day, they're the ones griping, moaning, and groaning about me. I'm not sitting there complaining about them one bit. I'm not sitting there even giving them a hard time about anything. Like there are some people that just don't get it to the degree that they want everything. They want everything, and they could have there's that guy like that's out there. He could have everything. He still would be unsatisfied. I know a couple people like that they just have so much at their grasp that they're still very very unhappy with everything that goes on around them. So what happens is when they see other people around them get unhappy, they do weird stuff like they make sure that people aren't happy, and that's something that I find extremely weird. Is like if your happiness relies on other people being unhappy, then you're not happy. Okay, you're not happy. You should take care of yourself before you worry about anybody else being happy. Okay, if you're not happy with things, and if you're not happy with things, okay, and you're not willing to like accept that people are happy, like you know just think about how like just think about it. You're the one that's getting mad when you see somebody happy, which I find extremely weird. I find extremely weird when that when somebody sees somebody happy, and they get mad about the person being happy, so they ruin their happiness. I don't deliberately, I don't understand that, because I've seen that a lot. I've seen a lot of people ruin my happiness, and I'm like, what are you ruining my happiness for? It isn't gonna help you be happy at all. Like, and the thing is that they just bring you down to this low that they're in. That's what they do, is because they see you happy. They're like, well, he needs to come back down to where I am because I'm unhappy, so it's unfair that he's happy, you know? And I find that extremely strange. I've had people I've had people literally see me happy, and then they automatically assume I have a girlfriend. I've seen people literally see me happy, and then the ones that are like so obsessed with what somebody else is doing. That's not a dude, buddy. That you're not a dude if you act like that. If you're worried about somebody's dating life, okay? If you're worried about who somebody's dating, especially if especially if it's a guy and he's dating a girl, all right? You're very very flamboyant, and you need to change that about yourself. I don't care what anybody says. You know, you can't a dude if there's a dude out there, trying to keep tabs on a dude, making sure he's not dating a woman, but like the dude will turn around and would date a woman himself. There's something drastically wrong with that person that gets mad at a guy for dating a woman, but then won't let him date the woman. Don't is dating a woman himself. There's something tremendously wrong there, and there is a bit of flamboyancy there when it comes down to it, and that's why I said, you know, you just gotta look at how you're handling things. Are you handling things in a manner where, you know, even if you're unhappy and your relationship sucks, that doesn't mean you have the right to go out and destroy other people's relationships. That doesn't mean you have the right to go out and do what you have to be happy. It doesn't mean that's how it works. Like a lot of people, they curse themselves that way. And when they curse themselves that way, they see the cause and effect of it, and then later on, what happens? They usually are like, I've known somebody to do some awful stuff to me, and then in the long run, the person literally was like, they went to the hospital, they had a bunch of bad stuff happen, and they were literally like, well, why is this happening to me? And it's like, did you see your life and the way you've been treating people the past few months, that you ended up in that position because you've been just a horrible human being, and you're not letting people live their life because you're always wanting control over everything. Some people don't get that they want too much control over everything. So like what that means, and when I say that, is like there's a lot of people out there that make sure people aren't getting their blessings and stuff like that. So they'll go out of their way and try to ruin, whatever it is that the other person's getting, just because they're unhappy with themselves. And so, you know, I really think it's weird, and relying on making somebody unhappy around you in making it that makes you happy. That's kind of weird that even works that way. Like, I look at it this way, everybody that's unhappy and they're going out of their way to make sure people are unhappy. That's just insanely weird. Like, how does your happiness rely on other people's happiness? How does that work? There's no form of connection there to us. Yeah, there's no form of like me being connected to you. So why are you not enjoying your life? Why are you not happy? Like, what is the deal here? Like, what's like? I don't understand how that all works, because people are crazy when it comes down to it. And I don't understand the point of why like somebody would think that their happiness is connected to you being happy. Okay, so like what I mean by that is like somebody's unhappy, so because they see you around and being happy and all that, they'll like try to bring you down because they're unhappy and they don't know how you got up to that height of being happy. And I always explain it. I always explain it as this and prayer will make you one of the most happiest people alive. I know it sounds weird, but this and prayer do a lot of work, do a lot of great things for people. And that's what you have to understand. It doesn't matter how bad you are. You could sit down and read this right now. Read like a couple chapters out of it right now. If you're like in a very very bad state, go read the Bible for a little bit and then see how you feel after that. You will feel a lot better after that. Without failure, you can be happy, you know. But you have to also understand that you have to like maintain, you have to continue to work on reading this. You have to continue to work on reading this. If you don't, then you are not going to be happy until you pick one of these up and start reading it. I don't know what it is about this. I don't know what it is about the Bible, but I truly do believe God runs through it. You know, I believe in a lot of stuff that God does for me, especially, especially, all the blessings I've received lately. God was behind this, but people still to this day struggle with the fact that I'm struggle with the fact that I get my blessings from God. They struggle with it. They struggle with understanding it. And so what happens is they make it seem like they don't understand they make it seem like they don't understand how I made that all happen. And when it comes down to it, you have to you have to follow Jesus Christ, you have to follow God, you know. And people get things I say mixed up all the time, and then they sit there and they make an assumption, not assumption, but they sit there and they don't understand how I became happy off of reading the Bible and things as such. And that's their confusion, because you know what? I know how I became happy. And it was through the Bible here that made me happy. It's not rocket science to understand how that works. But at the end of the day, that's how people are, and that's how people will always be. You know, if you can't understand what reading the Bible does for you, if you can't understand the power of prayer, because there's a lot of people out there that do believe the power of prayer works. I'm a firm believer of the power of prayer working, and I don't always see it right away. But sometimes you got to be patient. God will do what He has to, and that when that moment comes, you'll be ready. You'll be ready to see that power of the prayer, actually happened. But hey, but yeah, Moses did a lot of great things, and I think the moral of the story is, try the moral of the story is to try to be like people from these stories and learn from these stories. Now, again, like I said, for you people that just came in here, because I got like a couple more people, I actually just finished out Numbers today, so we're on Deuteronomy. All right, and I will say this, it's pretty cool seeing that I've already finished it. What's even more cooler is that, like, I've been feeling like Deuteronomy has an important message there for me, or something there that's gonna happen during Deuteronomy. Just a feeling, okay? Just something I picked up on it, and I truly do believe that Deuteronomy is gonna be that book that, yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it. A lot of people have talked about it to me, and it's one of those things that, like, now that I'm here, I want to figure out why people were talking about it to me, or if it is an important factor of something that's gonna, a blessing I'm gonna get or something like that. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. You know, so we'll find out as I read it. I'm getting a good feeling about this one. I don't know, but I'm just like, I think, you know, the next one over, very next one over after Deuteronomy is It's Joshua. So, and then I think Judges comes after. Yeah, Judges comes after Joshua. So Judges is very, very dark. But yeah, it's just crazy that I like. It's just crazy that I'm like doing all this and you know going through it the way I am. It's pretty awesome. It's something I wasn't even expecting. Like I could have spent time reading another chapter actually because I read through four. Okay. In case you haven't realized, I've been upping it a little bit because I realized that like I talk too much and I don't get as much reading in. And I spent a lot of time when I first started reading breaking it down. And the point of everything is, for me to continue to run through it and not stop so much and break it down because I noticed a lot of what I was saying was a repeat of what I was saying before, and I would talk about how things worked, and I brought like I'm still gonna break it down, yes, but I'm gonna try to like ease up on like talking so much during each section because there's not a lot to talk about in each section, so I'm gonna try to adjust that as we go further on, and I'm gonna talk a little bit less and read a lot more, and then I'll stop every once in a while and break it down for you guys because if it really sticks out to me, I'll stop and I'll break it down to you. I'll stop and I'll break it down for you, and that'll be how the whole how the rest of every stream is going. So you know, I have no clue when I'm finishing this. I got a little while to go yet, but really looking forward to reading this book. I said I feel pretty good about reading this book. I don't know what it is, but just something great. Um, but yeah, we're almost done. I started a little bit later today because I kept hitting my alarm on my phone. So I woke up at I usually wake up at like 10 o'clock or no 10:30 and get everything ready by 11, and then 11:30 will come, and then I'll pretty much be ready to go by 11 o'clock, start reading for you guys. And today was one of those days that because it's raining out, it's one of those days that it's raining out and it's made me sleepy. And it's a nice weather to be able to sleep in, but I know I gotta go work. I know I gotta go to work soon. So, um, which I doubt. I don't know if I'm actually gonna. I might actually take a lift in today because it's raining. It's raining like crazy today. I'm gonna see if it stopped. Yeah, it's still raining. So yeah, yeah. Pretty interesting. Well, not interesting, but pretty wild so far that I've made it this far. You know, as for you know, I don't know how many actual chapters are in our Bible, so I'm gonna have to look at that and see if I can break it down. Because if I read four per day, all right. So where we're at now, I don't know how many I have, but if I read like four per day, I think I might be able to get it done within a year actually. Maybe. We'll see. Um I don't know how it would work, but I've been reading 3 chapters a day. If I soup it up to four, it'll go progressively fast. And then maybe later on down the road I might soup it up to five depending on how long the chapters are. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I'll have to see how 3 to 4 goes for now on, and see if because right now I have a bunch of time, and I focused more this time on reading through it because I wanted to get the book done, as opposed to sitting there and talking a lot. When I was going through it before, I would break it down and talk a lot, and then have like a 5 to 10 minute discussion on a single item within the section. So, yeah. As for my experiences and the way I handle things, and do I feel a lot different? Yes, I definitely do feel a lot different. I feel a lot more at ease, and I feel I feel things are just better than they used to be, even though like I still have my struggles. Trust me, there's still things that go on in my life that like I'm still struggling with. But because I'm reading this and understanding like the power of God and how God can help me through conflict and all that, I don't act up as much. And that's something that like I'm sure a lot of people are just astounded and shocked by. But this is how the Bible transitions you from feeling depressed and angry into feeling a lot better about everything. There's just something about it that it does, and I can't explain it. But like, it's like God. I can truly say God is in this book, and if you don't understand that and you don't say a prayer, everything like that, you don't end up seeing the benefits of what the Bible does. So that's why like I always suggest people reading the Bible because there's a lot of people on the internet that deal with like a lot of drama, and anytime they start drama with me, I'm just like, go and read your Bible, go seek Christ and stuff like that. And it's the best thing I could ever say to somebody, but at the same time, they get offended by it because it's not really offensive to say that, but people do get offended by that term. People get offended by you saying that to them. So, all right. So with that said, I'm gonna say a prayer and then we'll get out of here. So, all right. Lord Jesus Christ, I pray to you today to take the rain away, of course. If you take the rain away, I'll be able to like ride my bicycle to work. If not, I'll have to take a lift. Lord, also I pray that you help me through the day today, Lord. And whatever is going on with Deuteronomy, because I feel like you really, really want me to read it. Lord, just give me an idea of something that of something from it, Lord. Also, you know keep blessing me as the Bible goes on. Keep making me feel good. I'm not, I'm feeling better than ever, Lord, and I just wanted you to know that. Like, thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Lord, anybody that's in a state of like darkness or depression, Lord, make sure they have a Bible to read, and I'm gonna keep promoting your word here. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing here. But Lord, I want people to understand that it helped me change. Believing you helped me change and help me become a better person, Lord. People are so used to me being, in a bad manner that like they don't understand it. So Lord, if you could, go and have those people understand that through you I've changed. So, and Lord, I just pray that you put a wall of protection and barrier around me. Bless me today if somebody's casting curses. And Lord, bless me today regardless. But especially if somebody's casting curses, change that into a blessing for me. And Lord, bless anybody else that needs it. There's some, I don't know if there's drama going on online, but make sure you bless Brittany Venti and Melanie Mack. They both need it. Anybody else that needs a blessing, also, give them a blessing. Send them a blessing their way, and help make sure they have a good day, and just bless everybody, Lord. Bless everybody that needs blessed. In Jesus' name, amen. So there you go. There you have it. I am out of here. Well, I got 1 minute, but yeah, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the Bible has helped me a lot. I used to, like, before I started reading the Bible, there's a couple videos you can go to on the Bible channel here that if you go back to them, if you go back to earlier days, you can see stuff that's going on with me. You can see how, like, angsty I was, how much anxiety I had, stuff like that. And people are weird. It's weird that people are weird about it now because they see I'm a lot calmer. I used to be really, really angry and irritated about everything back then. But since the Bible changed me, that's what I've been trying to get through to people is like the Bible absolutely changes you. And if you really, really can't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you because I've tried my best. And I can only pray now that you come to Christ or you find Christ and you find God. All right. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be uploading a short soon. Till then, guys, take it easy and God bless you. And I'll be seeing you tomorrow with Deuteronomy. God bless.